What is up, guys? Today we'll be comparing the LG G8 to the iPhone 12. So as you guys know, the G8 is one of my favorite phones, usually the phone that I recommend to most people that are looking for a new phone. Because of the price right now, you can find this guy for like $230 to $250 in the renewed or used market right now. That is the one that I have, and brand new it'll cost you like $400. The iPhone 12 will cost you around $830 brand new on Apple's website. So let's start off with the hardware with both phones. These are two very nice looking phones to me. They're both glass and metal phones here, and one unique thing about the G8 is it's got a completely flat camera. So that is just really nice. So it's just completely flat, does not bounce or anything like that. Actually kind of slides around. So I absolutely love that look. I just think it looks really clean. We got our power button on both right sides. We also have our volume rockers, your mute vibration switch, and we have our Google Assistant button on the G8. The G8 does have a headphone jack with a quad DAC for high quality audio listening. You have USB Type-C, Apple's Lightning port. Both of these phones, or no, the G8 just has one speaker, and you have stereo speakers on the iPhone. Alright, so turning both phones around, we're greeted by the display. So we have a POLED display on the G8, HDR10. It's a 6.1 inch display, 1440p, 564 for the PPI. It's also an always on display. iPhone, we have the same size display, 6.1 inch display. 1080p 460 for the PPI. So basically you have very good displays on both. I like that they moved from IPS to the OLED display on the iPhone, but you can definitely tell the difference when you're just looking at text and icons on the G8. And plus, if you watch like nature videos and stuff, if you put these side by side, you'll notice the difference in display quality, most definitely. Now they both get fairly bright as well, and like I said, when you're playing games, they just look super vibrant, look really great. So I have no issues with the display, but as far as display quality, I think the G8 still has a leg up, and plus you get an always on display with the G8 as well, which is something that I always appreciate. Now the notch is slightly bigger on the iPhone. As you can see, they have not shrunk it down at all. It's a little bigger than the G8's notch here, but like I said, overall two very nice displays. I think the bezels at the bottom are slightly slimmer on the iPhone, but as far as on the sides, they both look about the same. So let's go ahead and talk about the specs a little bit more. So Android 10, you have iOS 14 on the iPhone. So this will get Android 11, but probably will take a minute, honestly. So we do have the Snapdragon 855 on the G8, Adreno 640 for the GPU, micro SD support, 128 gigs of storage and 6 gigs of RAM on the G8. On the iPhone, we have the Apple A14 chip. We do not get expandable storage on the iPhone, which kind of sucks, and you only get 64 gigs, which is a little small, especially for a phone that costs this much. So you do get 4 gigs of RAM. Both of these phones have IP68 rating, so you can get them wet no problem. They both have NFC on board as well. The G8 has the headphone jack, the iPhone does not. You have a single firing speaker, stereo speakers, which we will get into. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do quick little speed test. Now we know the iPhone is going to be faster. It's a newer chip here, but let's see by how much. So let's go ahead and launch YouTube. Look like the G8 got it there actually. Let's go ahead and do Google Earth. The iPhone got it there. So G8 is keeping up. It's like right behind it. So let's do Temple Run. Oh, that actually looked like a tie. I actually thought the iPhone was in the lead, but it looks like the G8 caught up there. Let's do Subway Surfer. So not a huge difference, actually. Surprised. iPhone again, G8 right behind. Jetpack Joyride. I don't know what just happened. Oh, I have no clue what just happened right there. I don't know if I got like an animation stutter or something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and open a game. Now, gaming performance is going to be pretty much the same. The Snapdragon 855 is still a very fast chip for gaming. Alright, so we're in PUBG here. Got the G8 up top if you can't tell the difference. And go to graphics. We can do Ultra HD on the G8. I can't switch to it now. I have to switch to it in the lobby. But we have the same graphics settings and frame rate settings, so you can pretty much play at the same settings, and as you can see, looks really great. I've never had really an issue with gaming on the G8, and I guess you get a little bit more screen because of the smaller notch, right? But gaming performance is going to be excellent on both of these devices. Now, since the G8 only has a single firing speaker, I don't really expect it to be louder than the iPhone, but we'll go ahead and let you guys hear, starting with the G8 first. Just way more bass presence on the iPhone, but it actually doesn't sound that much louder than the G8. But you really notice the difference in bass quality. Yeah, that is the most noticeable thing here. But both speakers are really good for, you know, if you're in a loud environment, you can easily hear both of these guys, no problem. Now, the G8 gives you several ways of getting into the phone. So you have your face unlock on here, which is faster than the iPhone's face unlock, because when you unlock it on here, it takes you straight to the home screen. On the iPhone, when you unlock it, you have to swipe up, so that's like an extra step you have to do instead of it just bringing you to the home screen. Also, you have a physical fingerprint scanner on the G8 as well. I was kind of disappointed that Apple did not include that, but you have that option as well. It's very fast, it's almost instant. So you do have more ways to get into your phone on the G8, and the Face ID or the facial scanner is actually very good on the G8 as well. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the camera. So on the G8, you have a 12 megapixel standard and a 16 megapixel ultra wide 4K 30 or 60 FPS video, an 8 megapixel selfie camera that shoots in 1080p. As you can see from the still, the G8 takes some very good photos. You can actually throw Gcam on here and get some even better photos. Now, I bounce back and forth from the stock and Gcam application. I don't think the Gcam application is good for all photos. I actually prefer depending on what kind of shot I'm taking, but as you can see, the G8 does a very good job at taking photos, detail, dynamic range. You get pretty realistic colors on this phone as well. Pretty good video as well too. Basically, is the iPhone's camera, is it better than the G8? Yes, but it's not like such a huge difference, like a $400 difference to me. Alright, so on the iPhone, you have a 12 megapixel wide, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 4K video, 24, 30 or 60 FPS, and a 12 megapixel front-facing camera that also shoots 4K, 24, 30 or 60 FPS. You know what you're getting with the iPhone. It's just got one of the top-notch cameras up there with the Pixels and the Galaxy phones. You just get really great detail, dynamic range. The white balance is always really good. It just takes very good photos. I've never had an issue with iPhone's photos. Sometimes I don't like the colors that they give off. Sometimes I really prefer like the natural colors that LG does with their image processing, but a lot of people like this look. and it looks really good. So no complaints with the iPhone. I think the iPhone still has some of the best video on most smartphones. So just good cameras on both. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about battery life with both of these phones. So you have a 3,500 milliamp battery on the G8. You also have 21 watt fast charging and wireless charging. The G8 has very good battery life. You can easily get up to 8 hours and 30 minutes. I have a drain test if you guys want to check that out. And on the iPhone, you have a little bit smaller battery, 2,815 milliamp, 20 watt fast charging. You also get wireless charging as well. So basically with the iPhone, you're getting around 6 hours and 30 minutes. So as you can see, better battery life on the G8 for sure. So what do you guys think? Which phone are you guys going with? Be sure to let me know. I'll catch you guys in the next one.